Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tiravanachari Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Stotar Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Stotar Shata Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki. Vrindavan Dham Ki. Mathura Dham Ki. Navadvip Dham Ki. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki. Ganga Mai Ki. Yamuna Mai Ki. Tulasi Devi Ki. Bhakti Devi Ki. Sankirtan Yagya Ki. Brihad Mridanga Ki, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Jai. Gaur Pramananda Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Naranayam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Praisa Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavaduttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are continuing in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 54, Text 47. Janmadayastu dehasya Vikriya natmana kvachit Kalanam eva naivandor Mritir hyasa kuhuriva Janmadayastu dehasya Vikriya natmana kvachit Kalanam eva navendor Mritir hyasa kahuriva Janmadayastu dehasya Vikriya natmana kvachit Kalanam eva naivandor Mritir hyasa kahuriva. Janmadayastu dehasya Janmadayastu dehasya Kalanam eva naivandor Mritir hyasa kahuriva Janmadayastu dehasya natmana kvachit Janmadayastu dehasya Vikriya natmana kvachit Kalanam eva naivandor Word for word meanings. Janma Adaya, birth and so on. To, but. Dehasya, of the body. Vikriya, transformations. Na, not. Atmanaha, of the self. Kvachit, ever. Kalanam, of the phases. Eva, as. Na, not. Eva, indeed. Indo, of the moon. Mritihi, the death. He, indeed. Asya, of it. Kuhuhu, the new moon day. Eva, as. Translation. Birth and other transformations are undergone by the body, but never by the self. Just as change occurs for the moon's phases, but never for the moon, though the new moon day may be called the moon's death. And this is Lord Balaram speaking to Rukmini. Please repeat. Birth and other transformations are undergone by the body, but never by the self. Just as change occurs for the moon's phases, but never for the moon, though the new moon day may be called the moon's death. Purport by the servants of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Srila Swami Prabhupada. Lord Balaram here explains how the conditioned souls identify with the body and how this identification should be given up. Certainly, every ordinary person considers himself or herself young, middle-aged, or old, healthy, or sick, but such identification is an illusion. Just as the waxing and waning of the moon is an illusion, when we identify ourselves with the material body, we lose our power to understand the soul. I'm just going to read the tikas from the acharyas. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, since the soul has no contact with birth and death, these must only be characteristics of the body. But how can that be? For the awareness of being born, being a child, of aging, is a perception of the self or soul, not the body. This is explained with an example. Just as there are birth and other many phases of the moon, there is no birth of the moon which has unlimited phases. And just as the new moon phase is not the death of the moon, so we talk about the death of the self, but actually it is the death of the body connected with the soul. Jiva Goswami writes, the moon, said to be a shadow of the sun and a disk of water, gradually increases and decreases in its phases, but it is always the moon. This is the comparison with the Atma, which remains while the body changes. There is another meaning. Since I have been born in this family, why do connection and disconnection with family members not occur for me? If changes do not exist for the Atma, what can be said of you, the Swarup Shakti of the Lord, with a form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss? And that's Rukmini. And Sanatana Goswami writes, birth of the body is illustrated. Birth, existence, growth, change, decay, and death are 6 transformations, vikriya, of the body. Even perfected persons as a pastime sometimes manifest these changes. The body using the senses definitely undergoes these changes, being non-different from changes in one's father, etc. But the Atma, the wording in here is kind of confusing, but the Atma also dies at death since it appears that there is no consciousness. There is even death of the moon. It seems that the moon is destroyed since one does not see its disk at the dark moon phase. At other times, it seems that the moon is born and undergoes changes because one can see the moon. Similarly, the body not having consciousness dies at death, but not the Atma. Or, at the dark moon, there seems to be death of the moon, since the moon is not present. The destruction of the phases of the moon is apparent death. It is not real death. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chaksur Umilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadate Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudhapatikamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Pitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Krishna Kampitam Cha Hey Krishna Korana Sindhu Dinabando Jagapate Gopesha Gopikanta Radhakanta Mostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshri Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamane Namaste Pashata Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasati Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Good morning, everyone. If you will please say a prayer for me, that I can say something useful and in glorification of the Bhagavatam and the Lord. And also, if you will excuse me, I'm a little ill or some sort of allergy thing going on, so there may be some sniffling and sneezing or coughing, and my faculties are a little bit clouded, so please forgive me for any offenses. So today's verse, we have Lord Balaram speaking to Rukmini, and just as a kind of a quick summary, Lord Krishna has kidnapped Rukmini to be his wife. Rukmini's okay with this because she's Krishna's eternal consort, and she was desiring to marry Krishna. So Krishna came in and kidnapped Rukmini just as she was about to be married to Shishupal, which was set up by her brother, Rukmi. And just like, almost, I was thinking about it on the way over, in the movies, you know, there'll be a marriage, and they'll say, if anybody has any objections, you know, raise your voice or forever hold your peace, whatever they say. And then I was thinking about Krishna, you know, just as they say that, Krishna swooping in and grabbing Rukmini, and everybody's like, what? So anyways, he grabs Rukmini, and then once everybody realizes what's going on, you know, they go after him, trying to get her back, and battles ensue with armies, friends of Rukmi, and Krishna and Balaram, you know, they take care of all these armies and rascals trying to fight Krishna. And then finally, you know, Rukmi's friends and Shishupal give up, and they're like, okay, we're done. We're going home. But Rukmi was so defiant and determined to teach Krishna a lesson that he keeps on fighting. But Krishna ties him up and comically snips at his hair and mustache and beard and is about ready to do away with him and kill him. But Rukmini, being compassionate, is begging for her brother's life. Do not kill him, you know. And as this is going on, Balaram shows up and becomes like a voice of reason and starts to tries to pacify Krishna and Rukmini. And he kind of chastises Krishna in a little way morally, but then he's talking to Rukmini, giving her kind of like a short spiritual pep talk about what's really going on. And in this verse, he's comparing, doesn't mention, well, the soul is mentioned as the self, but it's saying is basically comparing the body and the transformations of the body from youth to adulthood, to old age, disease and death, and all these things as just symptoms and temporary. They're like the moon, like the phases of the moon. They're just things that are perpetually happening, but the soul, being separate from these things, separate from the material energy, is not connected to it. It's not contaminated by it. Just like the moon is always going, it seems like it's changing shape, but it's never changing. It's not touched. In the purport, it's saying, conditioned souls identify with the body, and that it should be given up, just like the waxing and waning of the moon is. So it's all an illusion, this idea that I am the body, and that I am going through this process, I'm going through this material life, trying to get what I want and need, and all these people connected to me in the body, or, everybody's connected to the body. But the purport is that this is false. It's just an illusion. And what I'm getting out of this verse is, this is really like as Lord Balaram is talking to Rukmini, he's really talking to us, the conditioned souls in the world, kind of giving us a pep talk, trying to show us, okay, so really, you're not who you think you are. You're spirit soul, right? This is knowledge that everyone needs to hear. All of us in this room have kind of, we've heard this knowledge to some extent, but everyone in the world needs to hear this, that you're not the spirit soul. That you're not the body, you are the spirit soul. Sorry. Because then what are we doing? We're just wandering around in this material universe looking for purpose, trying to figure out what satisfies our mind, our body, and our senses, and always getting frustrated, and then ultimately meeting disease, old age, and death. Like right now I'm kind of sick, and last night or just yesterday when it was all happening, I was debating with myself, I can't do these things, I feel like this. And while this all may be true, like right now I'm sniffling, I'm sweating like a pig, my head's all cloudy, but you still got to show up and do your service, that's kind of like the heart and soul of it, is getting over yourself and doing the needful. Like the other, I guess it was Friday, we had these, all of a sudden there were all these warnings, flood warnings, tornado warnings, flash flood, all these things. Stay put, don't travel, don't do these things. And while that was happening, I was like, oh man, this could be bad. And you could see the wind blowing, the trees, branches falling, the rain going crazy. And I'm like, what should I do? Should I, just stay in my room and chant Hare Krishna, or what should I do? And I'm like, forget this, just I'm going to the temple just to make sure everybody else is okay. And that not to give an example of like, oh, look at me, but like it felt good, it felt right to be like more concerned about Krishna and his devotees rather than myself and like my immediate well-being. So I came over and checked on the Raj Bhog people, make sure the deities are taken care of, make sure Tulsi's, hunkered down. And afterwards, it was such a great feeling. And it's kind of connected in the way that I wasn't thinking about the body. I'm just thinking about, okay, I'm spirit soul. My purpose in life is to serve Krishna and to make him happy and to make the devotees happy as well. So whatever happens, I'm going down with them, I'm going down while I'm doing service. And I knew in the back of my head, this isn't the end of everything right now, It's just a little weather mishap. But kind of the point of the verse is you got to wake up out of that illusion that you're not this body. You're spirit soul. Your whole purpose in life is to serve Krishna and his devotees. And if you do otherwise, trying to serve the material energy, it's just going to perpetuate forever. That's why we're here. That's why we're here in the first place, because we want to be separate from Krishna. And now we see the results. We suffer. We're naturally identified with this body. We feel sickness. We feel pain. We see death, and we see all these horrible things. It reminded me of this verse, and a lot of verses, but it reminded me of a verse in the Gita. What was it? Dehinosmin yata dehe kamaram yauvanam jara tata dehantara praptir jirastatra namuyate. And the translation is, the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age. The soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. And I just wanted to read some of the purport because it kind of illuminates the whole idea. Since every living entity is an individual soul, each is changing his body every moment, manifesting sometimes as a child, sometimes as a youth, and sometimes as an old man. Yet the same spirit soul is there and does not undergo any change. The individual soul finally changes the body at death and transmigrates to another body. And since it is sure to have another body in the next birth, either material or spiritual, there is no cause for lamentation by Arjuna on account of death, neither for Bhishma nor for Drona, for whom he was so much concerned. Rather, he should rejoice for their changing bodies from old to new ones, thereby rejuvenating their energy. Such changes of body account for varieties of enjoyment or suffering according to one's work in life. So Bhishma and Drona, being noble souls, were surely going to have either spiritual bodies in the next life, or at least life and heavenly bodies for superior enjoyment of material existence. So in either case, there was no cause of lamentation. Any man who has perfect knowledge of the constitution of the individual soul, the super soul, and nature, both material and spiritual, is called a dhira, or a most sober man. Such a man is never deluded by the change of bodies. As confirmed in the Gita, the fragmental portions of the Supreme exist eternally, sanatana, and are called shara, that is, they have a tendency to fall down into material nature. These fragmental portions are eternally so, and even after liberation, the individual soul remains the same, fragmental. But once liberated, he lives an eternal life in bliss and knowledge with the personality of Godhead. The theory of reflection can, I'm not going to go that far. But the point is, we're just part and parcel of Krishna. And it's such a simple thing, yet it's, being in the material world, it's so easy to forget. Even as practicing devotees, it's so easy to go about our day and forget these things. But the best way to remember these things and just stay focused is the chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And I always bring that into one of my lectures because it sounds simple, everything seems simple, and it really is. But you just have to weather the storm. You just have to keep on going and keep serving and try to push past the illusion of the body, of all the things going on with the body, and just keep serving, keep going. Did anybody have any questions or comments? I could probably keep going. She was asking what we should push past and what we should not try. I guess what I'm pushing through is just life in general. So you have to find out what your focus is. And like, as a devotee, your main focus should be always remembering Krishna and never forgetting him, and somehow trying to serve Krishna and please him and the devotees. And then your secondary life may be as a wife, a father, a student, a dog. I don't know what it is, you know. But I would say pushing through like all the difficulties in life, keeping sane, but keeping the focus, pushing through all this stuff to keep the focus that I am still eternal spirit soul, I'm still part and parcel of Krishna. I may be doing whatever it is, I may be living the life I am, but ultimately everything I should be doing is for the pleasure of Krishna. And whatever whatever difficulties I may have outside, in the material world or from inside, as we're like purifying ourselves, you just have to weather the storm and push through those things. Don't get overcome by the emotions and the riffraff of it all. It's very easy to do. I do it all the time. But by keeping focused on service to Tulsi Devi and the deities, I'm able to okay, well, you can worry about that another time. Right now, you got to go do this, or anything like that. What not to push through? I guess I would say maybe not push through, but not to succumb to the illusion and be overwhelmed by all the difficulties in life so that you forget your real purpose and meaning. Everything's going to go up and down, but somehow remaining focused. I don't know if that helps. That's true. I was kind of thinking about that earlier. Like a lot of examples in our history of pure devotees, they're so absorbed in Krishna consciousness that they completely forget about their bodies. Just this morning, I don't know why I was thinking about this. I was thinking about Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house, and I could be completely wrong because I was only there once or twice. And I feel like there was some sort of closet or something that he used to sit in for just hours on end and chant. Anyways, the whole point being that some of the pure pure devotees, more advanced devotees, they seem to forget their body and can be absorbed in Krishna consciousness and keep going. But for us, conditioned souls, we may have this body, but we still have to take care of it. You know, it's a gift from the Lord. You know, it's a temple for the soul and the super soul. The Lord is residing within your heart, so you have to take care of the body so you can keep going, so you can stay focused and get to the goal. You don't want to destroy yourself and then in the process. Did anybody else have anything else they wanted to share? Mm. Yeah, it's important to keep moving. It's important to keep the body moving and keep the soul moving, and always remembering Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you for your attention. Please forgive me for any offenses and mistakes and mishaps. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Agom Vikamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Vasyan Dipan Dikayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govinda
Namago Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Putale Shimate Bhakti Vedantago Sameginichi Namanay Namaste, that's what DJ they Gurvani Pacha, they can't even say shot. Shunya Pade, Masya Jago days a Taranay. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayadvaita Kadada Siva Sati Gaurata Vrinda Jayadvaita Kadada Siva Sati Gaurata Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayadvaita Kadada Siva Sati Gaurata Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayadvaita Kadada Siva Sati Gaurata Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Yate. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Agate, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Lokanana, Radha Roganana, Jaya Radha, Lokanana, Radha Roganana, Radha. Jaya Radha, hey. Rade, Rade, Rade. Hey, Rade, Rade, Jaya Rade. Jai Om Krishna
Bhava Mahadevani Nirvapanam Shayayairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Sunshine Nandam Buddhi Vardhanam Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahudani Jasarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishita vakripa bhagavan mamapi Durdaiva midrishami ajjanina nuraga Trinadapi sunichena charorapi suhishuna Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari Nadanam najanam nasundarim Kavitam va jagadisha kamaye Mama janmani janmani ishvare Bhavatad bhaktir hoitaki tvai Ainanda tanuja kinkaram Patitam mam vishame bhavam buddha Kribayata vapada pankaja Stita duli sadrishim vachintaya Nayanam galadashu daraya Varanam gadgadaridaya gira Pulakarnishitam vapukada Tavanamagrahane bhavishyati Yugayatam namishena Chakshusha pravashayatam Shunayatam jagat sarvam govindam Virahename Ashlishyavapadam nastumam Adarshanam marmata karotuva Yatatatava vidadatulam pato Mat prananatastu saiva napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he's always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Shri Shastika Ki Jai. I just want to tell a quick story from the Harinam yesterday. It's very inspiring. We're at Weaver Street Market, and we're chanting there, and there's an older African-American man sitting in a place where it looks like he's probably begging, and people walking right past him, they're not giving him anything. And so about an hour after, he's listening to the kirtan the whole time. So about after an hour, he comes across the street walking towards us, and he can't walk very well. But at the same time, I'm thinking, oh no, here he comes he's probably going to try to take some money out of our box here, because it just flashed in my mind. But instead, he pulls out his wallet and gives us $1. He didn't have much money. And he took books, and Apurva preached to him for a while, and he walked away. He had a cigar in his mouth, and it was. But he reminded me of that story when Prabhupada had the bum come in and bring toilet paper. He wanted to give a donation. No one gives us donations really, but the poorest person in the whole place gave us a donation. So it's Prabhupada's mercy, and it's Krishna's mercy, and he's going back to Godhead. I don't know when, but sometime. Haribo.